Yeah. Potty, oh, potty the body. That guy right there is the guy that's really running the UFC right now. It's not even really Dana White anymore. It's this dude right here. You can't even see my browser, my cursor, but it's this guy. You can't see my finger here. Oh, what a Moran. What are we gonna? You want to talk about this Gable Steveson guy again?
Yeah. Let's talk about Gable. Gable Steveson lost to Wyatt Hendrickson in the heavyweight national championship in front of Donald Trump and company.
Mm-hmm.
Wyatt Hendrickson.
Why is that a particularly notable thing?
Yeah, Wyatt Hendrickson is a U.S. airman. I think he's an airman.
Mm-hmm.
And Gable Steveson is probably the most recognizable name in amateur wrestling in this era. Mm-hmm. You got
He's a 4-time, or actually he's a 5-time All-American.
Yeah.
4-time national championship. He had never been taken down prior to this, prior to this season.
Yeah.
And hadn't lost since he was a freshman.
Yeah, 2-time national champion. Signed contract with the Buffalo Bills after never playing football a day in his life. First time he put on cleats was at the practice facility for the Bills. Signed a contract with the WWE. His brother actually was under contract with WWE too. His brother was a collegiate wrestler, but wasn't quite as.
I got to fast forward in so we can see some of this. I know I watched some of this just because I wanted to get context on the fight.
Yeah.
And the way I sort of felt it is originally they walked out and you could see Gable is like mean mugging him.
Yeah.
Like from the get-go.
And Gable has kind of become, he's got a couple of allegations against him. So he's kind of become an unpopular guy now. A
bit of a heel in his own right.
Right, yeah. I like Gable Steveson. I don't know as far as the allegations go, if they're true or not. If they're true, then obviously I don't support them.
Yes.
But I do think he's owed.
Everybody's innocent until proven guilty.
Right. I think he's owed due process. And I think that they come to a settlement outside of court. So there's never going to be a definitive yeah. And my thing is, if someone is never proven guilty, you can't define them as that's what they are.
But sucks as that may be.
Yeah, and a lot of people since he has those allegations, a lot of people have kind of turned on him. Mm-hmm. But you cannot. I mean, the guy's represented America in the Olympics. He's won medals representing America. 2-time national champion, signed to the Bills if you're not playing football, signed to the biggest professional wrestling company in the world. You cannot deny the guy's talent. You can't deny his accolades, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? He's a big deal.
So why do you think there's really was sort of an adverse reaction to his loss by some people, where all of a sudden it seemed like does it discredit his career somehow, having lost this match?
I don't think so. I think if anything, if anything, it just made a moment for Wyatt Hendrickson, give him a career-defining moment. I guess you could say it does take away from his career because he's not going to go out as a champion. Mm-hmm. He's going to go out on a loss. He went out as a champion and then come back. And that was another thing that people were upset about. He left, signed with the Bills, signed with WWE after he graduated originally. And then due to the, I think it was COVID, something like that, he ended up having an extra year. Mm-hmm. He decided to come back.
I was curious about that. Everybody got a 5th year of eligibility.
Yeah, and I think that's where some people are saying, like, okay, this was a tarnish of his legacy. But this is the national championship match. Like, it's not like he came back and sucked. He came back and
lost to some crappy guy. Yeah.
Number 1 seed in the championship to the number 2 seed. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? And Wyatt Hendrickson.
He's no slouch.
Yeah,
he's a 2-time All-American.
Yeah, national champion now. There it is. Yeah, he's Air Force Academy.
And that's the other thing is there should have been something in the air. People should have known when you come out with a flag on your back.
Yeah.
And the commander-in-chief is in there in front of you.
Yeah.
It gives you something to fight for, and I guarantee you, there's a difference between the attrition in a service member versus a standard collegiate athlete. And he ran into a guy here who just wasn't going to quit.
And I do think there was another thing going against Gable where he was supposed to represent America again. Olympic Games, Tokyo gold medalist, Pan American Championship, under 20 World Championship, under 17 World Championship. All of this is representing America right here. representing the United States. Here's his Division One, two-time national champion. Placed silver this year, so second, bronze. So 4 years, 4 medals. You know what I mean?
He's at Oklahoma State too, a powerhouse in wrestling.
Oh, this is Gable Steveson.
Oh, well,
yeah. I think there was the assault charges, but I do think that there was an issue with another reason why people didn't like him is he did turn down. He had another opportunity to represent America in another tournament and did. He won the 2023 Final X, earning the right to represent the United States for the 2023 World Wrestling Championships. This was, I think, Greco-Roman in Serbia, and he turned it down. This was wrestlers get a chance to wrestle for the Summer Olympics. It's like a qualifier type deal.
Okay.
And he turned it down. So he didn't want to represent the United States. And I think he ended up coming out saying that there was a reason why he turned it down. I think it was because he wanted to focus on, I can't remember. Like I said, he was in the WWE. There was a lot going on at the time. He was in the WWE in 2024 when he got the opportunity and turned it down. So I think he was like focusing on, he was like, I want to be a professional wrestler. I think that's what it was. So he didn't represent America. And then, so obviously when you say I don't want to represent America, it comes off negative, comes off poorly.
Especially in comparison to someone who serves their country.
And my thing is, he decided he didn't want to represent America in that tournament, but he's already represented them. He's already won multiple gold medals. Why not give someone else the opportunity? I don't know. Like,
here's the last 30 seconds.
Yeah. So this is a big right here. We got a fake. Gets to a single.
Let me. I'll put it back to normal.
Get it slow. Yeah. Get it. Normal.
You're a wrestling coach.
Yes, sir. High school wrestling coach.
A little bit of info.
Let me
30 seconds left.
Show off some of my knowledge here.
Down by 2 points.
There we go.
And this is a match that he looked a little like he was phoning it in at this point, kind of.
That's what some people are saying too. Yeah, and I think here he thinks he knows he's won.
And so he just doesn't get it.
He's kind of just trying to stall out now. And this is what I'll say that might be controversial. So Wyatt's going to fake it again, or just fake one time. Gets the single. He's going to chase it here to a double switch off. And it switches off to the double. Gets the takedown. Gets behind him. Gets the takedown. There's 3 points. He's up 1. So now he's going to try to put in a half here. But you could also have called. So he's got a hand on the waist. You could have called stalling right here on Wyatt. But he puts in a little half-ass half attempt to stop the stalling. But right there, that's when they knew Wyatt had won. I think they could have got Wyatt for a stall. So if you get a stall, Gable would have got a point. And it would have been tied up. They would have went to sudden death.
And how does sudden death work?
Sudden death is first one to get a takedown. First one to get points. So Gable knows here, and I don't think that people are like Gable didn't care. I think if you see that shot, Gable clearly did care. I just think he thought he won already.
Well, I read did an interview with Gabe Steveson afterwards where he said like people can criticize me all the time, but like I was content with whatever. It's like I won 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't win my last one, but like I've done everything I needed to do. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't overshadow my legacy. It doesn't cheapen anything that I've done.
Right.
It's not like you lost to a nobody.
Right.
This dude in a razor thin matchup pulled out a victory from the jaws of defeat. I don't know that a lot of what people are saying about him, I think, is just bullcrap.
And one of the things too that I meant to bring this up a while ago, I was looking up Wyatt Henry to see what else he's done, but he also represented America in the under 23 World Championship, got a gold medal in Tirana, Big 12 Championship this year, so he was not a nobody. But people are mad at Gabe Steveson because he left and then came back, and they were like, he's wrestling college kids when he's over their age. Gable Stevenson's 24. Wyatt Henderson is also 24. So it's like it's the same age gap here.
Right.
But 24 years old, he's already a multiple-time national champion, signed with the Bills, signed with WWE. And I'm not trying to – I know people are saying, all right, you sound like a broken record. You've said it a couple times. The reason why I said it a couple times is because it's what we're about to show you. People act like this dude's a failure. At 24 years old, he's been successful at 3 different big-time things that a lot of people dream of doing. Winning a national championship alone, I can't tell you how many wrestlers dream of doing that. Signing with the WWE, I can't tell you how many independent professional wrestlers want to do that. Signing in the NFL, I can't tell you how many football players want to do it. So he's been successful at 3. Of course, no, he wasn't a Pro Bowler, but what do you expect? A guy who's never played football, he got a contract. Did he make the final roster? No, but he got a contract after never playing the sport.
Right?
That's an accomplishment. Yeah. Professional wrestling, he wrestled a couple matches. He wasn't terrible. He really wasn't terrible. After the allegations come out, he was fired from the company because it's a big-time company with shareholders.
Yeah.
They were covering themselves. At that time, Vince McMahon was still in charge. And, well, I mean, Vince McMahon firing somebody for sexual allegations is kind of ironic because of, but it's just, I mean, they did what they had to do to protect their ass at that time. Mm-hmm. Understandable. That was the reason. That was the only reason why he got fired from WWE. It wasn't like he was a bad professional wrestler. He was pretty good, and his brother was pretty good too.
Well, there's a difference too. I think from going from wrestling to professional wrestling, it's different. Yes, you maybe it'll extrapolate some of the same skills and ideas, but it's
the athleticism, the showmanship, yeah. And so, I mean, I feel for Gable Steveson at this point because now he's become this villain because of an allegation, because of some misunderstandings, and now because he lost in the national championship. I just feel like it's weird that we make someone losing a villainous thing. Like he's a bad guy.
Like he's done something wrong.
Yeah, and I hate to play devil because I don't know the guy. If he ends up being a prick, then we're gonna look stupid. But until I know that, I want to play devil's advocate for him because I feel for the guy. He's going through a lot right now.
Yes, because I saw this video and
yeah,
started watching it and just.
By the way, I'm almost mad that we are giving this guy.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Let me just say this to begin with. Everybody has an opinion, and that's okay. Yeah. It's not necessarily about what your opinion is. I think sometimes it's how you say it.
Yeah.
And I think that this guy, Gable Steveson, if you're going to talk shit about this guy, I would hope you'd keep the same energy on the internet as you would in person.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of my problem was with this guy's video is not what he said, it's how he said it. And then in the comment section, if you left a comment, boy came for you. I left a comment, all I said was bad take, and it's not how you say it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
And he responded to every single comment I left. Unfortunately. So maybe take this. I mean, was the outset of this video for you to piss people off to get engagement for your channel? Bravo. I get it.
By the way,
no problem with that.
By the way, your 58 subscribers is not impressive at all, big dog.
I mean, I only have like 200 something on my channel. I don't have 1,000 and million like you do.
No, it's just 12.5 on TikTok. All right, let's
together we have almost 13,000 subscribers.
Listen, I'm a nobody too, but I'm more of a somebody than this guy.
Yeah. I just think like sometimes you need to check yourself.
Yeah.
So let's hear what our old boy has to say about Gable Steveson. We'll at least watch some of this here.
Listen, I'm tired of hearing about Gable Steveson. I'm tired. This kid is not threatening.
First of all, let me just stop you there. If you're tired of hearing about something, I think the next logical step is not to go to your bedroom and then make a 12-minute video.
Yeah.
And upload it to the internet.
This kid's an absolute fraud. He has a laundry list of public humiliation getting dropped by 1,000 different companies, contracts being voided, 1,000 different things. You see all the different
1,000 different things.
Career suits. My boys in Buffalo Bills practice gear.
He names two.
My boys in the WWE. My boy was at the Olympics. My boy returned back to college wrestling.
All right, pause it real quick.
Years old.
So, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go on a tangent because this dude really made me mad. So what he says here is I can name 1,000 things, 1,000 public humiliation, whatever, voided contract, blah blah blah. Signs with the Bills, on a practice roster position. This guy clearly doesn't know how the NFL works. You get a practice spot. It's not a guaranteed NFL contract. No. So if you don't make the roster, that's not a voided contract. You just didn't make the roster. So that's not a voided contract. WWE signed a 3-year deal. Actually, I think it was 4. Lasted 3.5 years. Had a couple months left. Was voided because of the sexual assault allegations.
Yep.
The third thing, that's the only 2 contract issues he's listed. The third thing he said, you see him here, represent the Olympics, or in the Olympics, represent America. He listed that as a bad thing. If you go, he just said, failed at these 3 things. Here he is, representing America in the Olympics. He won a gold medal.
Yeah.
He won a gold medal that year.
If you're gonna say there's so many things that he's done wrong, you need to list them. At least
Yeah.
come with more than that. I don't think that any of those are.
So and so that was his. Here's 1,000 things he did wrong. He signed an NFL contract, loser. He signed a WWE contract, loser. He represented America, won a gold medal. What a loser! All right, you can go now. This dude just made me mad.
He lost the NCAA championship with under 8 minutes left. He was up. I honestly thought he was going to win. Okay, they had DC commentating for whatever reason. I think I know why, but we're going to get into it.
Daniel Cormier.
Wait, so you're confused as to why Daniel Cormier is commentating the wrestling championship?
And I think he just wanted to throw shade because Daniel trained Gable Steveson.
Okay.
He decides.
Okay, first of all, if you're gonna follow someone on sport, if you're gonna follow a sports writer, maybe follow them when they know what they're talking about. If I saw a post and I say that they misspelled the athlete's name wrong, I'm gonna change the fucking channel.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna change the
generational all-time bad run. I could name some worse.
This
runs.
might be a generational all-time.
Last opportunity. I'm gonna squander my last opportunity in the public eye to get any career furtherance.
Why would he be? Let's see that again.
Okay, they had DC commentating for whatever reason. I think I know why, but we're gonna get into this. So he decides, hey, I'm going to sit here and flop my last opportunity. I'm gonna squander my last opportunity in the public eye.
Why would this be his last opportunity in the public eye?
24 years old.
Most people would actually consider that once you leave college, it's the beginning of your career.
Yeah.
He's got so many things he could do. Just because he had the issues already with professional wrestling doesn't mean that is done. There are other companies and promotions you can be a part of. MMA is fucking huge right now. It's bigger than boxing. This dude, what's the cat? Penn State wrestler turned UFC fighter. Hold on, let me. What's this cat's name? Bo Nickel, right? You got Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel left. Obviously, he didn't lose his last match, but if Bo Nickel lasts his last match and comes into the UFC, he's started a career. He's already a top 10 fighter in his weight class in 4 competitive matches, which just goes to show you what someone with the wrestling capabilities can do in these other combat sports. There's tons of abilities for him to put his face out there. I mean, if anything, you could probably argue that his loss has actually made his mentions go up. His searchability has gone up. Put more eyes on him. There's more stories being printed about him this week than the previous week before he lost. So you could argue that it's actually a good thing that he lost in terms of his notoriety.
You get any career furtherance and kind of anything. Okay, send this boy back to Subway. Listen, so he's up 2. Under 8 minutes left. He's fighting a second lieutenant in the Air Force. This kid flattens out Gabe Steveson like a pancake.
Pause it again real quick. Sorry, I looked up something else because I thought that I was right, but I wanted to make sure because some people do research before they put things on the internet. DC went to school at Oklahoma State University, so DC trained Gable Steveson. So he was throwing shade, saying that they got him commentary so he could kind of lean towards Stevenson. Yeah, DC's his alma mater is Oklahoma State. Mm-hmm. So he's got, to me, I would think he's got no dog in the fight here. You know what I mean? Like he's probably like looking at this game. And I don't know. I didn't watch this live. We were watching. Me and my wrestling team were actually watching it live. But I had a stand-up show that night, so I had to leave before the heavyweights came out. But that's I just wanted to say that. By the way, DC only won 2 national championships and then lost.
Well, DC is a combat sports commentary
and
analyst.
It's not like he
does this for a living. I can guarantee you there's no biases in what he was speaking on. I can guarantee you that.
Like a pancake. So embarrassing, bro. So embarrassing. You're supposed to be next up. You're supposed to be the guy that's going to threaten the heavyweight division for the next however many.
Threaten what heavyweight division?
Yeah, so he's talking about this guy like he's the future.
It's the end of his career.
When he's-
there is no career left in in his career, collegiate wrestling career. I'm not. So what? I don't. Maybe are you?
Is his
it
plan-
a wrestling thing?
Yeah.
Are you speaking like his career in professional wrestling was the sort of end goal here, and because he's not got his ship pointed in that direction, he's somehow a fraud? I'm asking a question. I'm trying to do this without being a dick.
Yeah.
Because I feel passionately about things and say stupid stuff.
I've gotten dropped by 3 different companies.
I was trying to see. I don't even see where he's got plans to go to the UFC.
This is not looking good for me.
Well, here he just said recently he was dropped from 3 different companies. So you said it was thousands or hundreds earlier. Now it's 3.
And it's not even 3.
It's not 3.
It's 2.
It's 2.
And this kid in the Air Force just says, nah.
And why are you saying he's a Air Force lieutenant, like to throw shade at him?
Yeah.
I think anybody, military personnel involved probably have more attrition per person than the average dude.
Hopefully you come to the UFC.
So that's what. Okay, so he was saying Gable's supposed to be the heavyweight future in the UFC, but Gable, I haven't seen anywhere where he plans on signing with the UFC.
But it was
and I
just
could be wrong
assume
with
that
that.
that's the next thing up, right?
Yeah.
What about this wrestling mask makes you assume that he has no career ahead of him at all?
Yeah.
Like it's not like he got his ass whooped. You can clearly see that. I don't think he put much effort into this when he got on. I thought he kind of phoned it in. You're up by 2.
Yeah.
You're locked up. There's 30 seconds left. You're thinking the thing's over, man. You're dribbling the ball out. You're running. You're kneeling the clock. So because this guy who's obviously never going to give up drug out 3 points in the final seconds of this match. It wasn't like he got drugged. He didn't get beaten in the fight. He was dominating the fight. Or not dominating, but he was winning the entire time.
Yeah. Wrestling for Oklahoma State, who literally leads all-time team championships, by the way. 34 national championships as a team.
So even if he's the worst player or worst wrestler on the entire team, which he's not, he's probably the best. It's basically the Bama of collegiate wrestling. It's the Duke of collegiate wrestling.
I'm trying to see individual national championship. Who has the most D1 wrestling titles? But it's only showing team. Carter Starochi.
Probably be the most.
Carter Starochi and Aaron Brooks are the only 2 people in the history who have won 4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just saying you've got guys like Brock Lesnar, who is probably. I mean, for me, I'm a pro wrestling fan, so when I hear wrestling, I think Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar here. NCAA, he won 1 national championship. Gable's got him doubled. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Angle.
And he was one of the greatest heavyweight fighters in UFC history.
Yes.
And he's got 1. It doesn't.
Kurt Angle has 2. He tied Kurt Angle.
And Kurt Angle is often looked at as the greatest wrestler of all time.
Yeah. So, I mean, Daniel Cormier, he tied Daniel Cormier with 2.
Yeah.
Give me some other all-time wrestling.
Well, there's Cael Sanders. We looked at him the other day.
Yeah.
Cael, I believe.
Let's see. Sanderson.
Yeah.
Cael Sanderson.
He's the greatest in my opinion.
4.
Yeah.
4
But
straight
he was the
national
one. He even wrestled Daniel Cormier and beat him.
Yeah.
I don't think he lost in his entire career.
So, I mean, there are guys. Yeah, you're right. There are guys
That's crazy.
like Cael Sanderson, who I would say are probably your GOAT wrestlers.
He's got the greatest, I think.
And Gable Steveson is accomplissment
one
rises
behind him.
is directly under him. I mean,
One win behind him.
so it's like, I don't know.
And let's just say what else you got
Gable
to say.
Steveson came off of a 52 win streak. He came back from a 52 win streak to lose. We're going to talk about why. So, he wins the Olympics in 2021. During COVID, he wins with under a minute left. It's very similar. I mean, under a second left. Very similar to how he just lost the NCAA championship, right? It's a little weird.
Would you consider 22-1 during COVID?
Itself out.
I don't
But he
remember
takes
when
somebody's
COVID
back
was.
with like 0.6 seconds left. Yeah, see, 0.9 seconds left. He kind of hasn't gotten the back secured yet. 0.6 seconds, he has it locked in. And then my boy does a backflip on stage, becomes the hype. Everybody's calling this dude. NFL wants him. He's 260 pounds, right under the heavyweight limit, by the way. Pretty sure Dana's calling. Pretty sure Power Slap's calling. Pretty sure everybody's calling this dude. You know what he decides to do? he decides to sign the WWE.
What's wrong with that?
My boy signs a 3-year deal.
Probably worth more money.
WWE. So everybody
Pause
tells
it
me
again.
that's a little odd. That's a little.
Power. Yeah, you know what Power Slap is?
No, I know. Power. So this is 2021.
Yeah,
He said, I'm pretty sure
2022.
Power Slap was calling. Power
Just
Slap
2022.
was created in 2022.
And it wasn't even big back then.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, Power Slap wasn't a thing in 2021.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
But even talk about money. Money is what walks for a guy like this.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Bottom line, money walks. The UFC does not pay the same amount of money that WWE pays. They just don't. Not to young fighters.
A little odd, you know what I mean? A lot of those NCAA dudes just kind of go to football, or UFC. I mean, I don't really know how many of them go to wrestling, but I guess there's a little bit, but like not the top draw. Like
What?
that's a little crazy.
Not
I
a
mean, the
top
WWE
draw?
definitely pays chick-
Well, yeah, he's saying not the top
Definitely
athletes
pays
don't go
chicken.
there.
They don't go to the, so Kurt Angle,
60
Yeah,
pounds.
it's,
Brock Lesnar.
Send this dude to the NFL or the UFC. We're
it's a
talking
bunker mentality.
innocent. Innocent.
You
So-
believe all this in your head, but you've not really.
I know,
Connected
like 10
it to
dudes in the
facts
corner store who look
to show
just
your
like
seats
this. I know
here.
10 Dominican dudes in my corner store who look just like this. I know my barber literally looks just like this guy. A gang of people look just like this guy. If I'm being
Who
1,000%
cares?
honest. 1,000. So he was being propped up by the WWE. They showed him at WrestleMania. They showed my boy.
What does his looks have to do with him being shown at WrestleMania, man? That WrestleMania is not out there. The technical director in the booth is not back there. Find me the best looking people in the crowd so that I can show them on TV. No, they want to show people that those at home care about, and they cared about this kid.
Here we go. We got Gable Steveson, Dolph Ziggler, who has the record for most career wins at Kent State, WWE wrestler. Shelton Benjamin, former NCAA All-American, WWE.
Brock Lesnar.
Rick Steiner.
Steiner. I want him to be my granddad.
and of course, Scott Steiner as well. Kel Sanderson.
Kale Sanderson?
Yeah.
What?
Which I'm a little confused because I don't remember Kel Sanderson being in the WWE.
Yeah, well, ChatGPT can suck it.
Yeah, I don't know. Ken Shamrock, just coming to names. Yeah.
Ken Shamrock is a legitimate martial artist, even though he's got a big fucking mouth. Roman Reigns?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't get. There's a lot.
But my boy during SmackDown, he had a gang of promos, right? He had a gang of promos. He signed a 3-year deal. They're trying to get him. They're trying to fit him in somewhere. It's told that he was being like underdeveloped. I mean, he was being developed under Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle, which is super obvious because Kurt
Alright,
Angle
pause
is
it
an
again.
Olympic wrestler.
Sorry. Shawn Michaels is over. He's the he's the on-screen general manager and creative for WWE's NXT program, which NXT when it first came out was the developmental for the WWE. NXT has since become its third brand. It's its own brand. It's not developmental anymore. It's an actual. It's supposed to be Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Or they're the three brands.
Okay.
So to say that he was directly under Shawn Michaels is kind of it's a stretch.
And everybody there be under him technically?
Yeah, exactly. And I do believe he probably was trained more specifically under Kurt Angle for professional wrestling because that just makes sense. But I'm trying to find who specifically was the most hands-on with him. Stevenson trained. You can play it again, but I was just wanting to point that out.
And he didn't change his name. His name is Kurt Angle. They tried to do the same angle with Kurt Angle. They tried to do the same angle. They tried to do the same angle with Gable Steveson, and it didn't work. It's told that this dude had zero personality, zero flow, nothing. They tried to also sit here and compare this dude to Brock Lesnar. Dog, if we're being honest, this dude is not even half of a Brock
Oh,
Lesnar.
that's another thing. I completely
His
forgot
only
about this.
feuded TV
Gable
match.
Steveson had a heart procedure when he started training. He had to take time off when he first joined the WWE because he had a heart procedure. I forgot about that. He had Wolf Parkinson White syndrome.
Yeah, and to go back to what the guy was saying here about he has no personality, I can guarantee you the number of athletes that come through those doors that have zero personality when they get there. That's the whole point. You're
Yeah.
going to grow. You're going to get
Yeah.
better. No company like WWE is going to throw millions of dollars at an athlete just like throwing money at a brick wall. There, obviously,
Yeah.
they saw something in him. And let's just call a spade fucking spade here. If your argument is this guy is overblown and doesn't deserve what he's been given, fine. But nothing what you've described as illustrated that point. To me, what it seems to be is his issue is that he's got a fucking mouth and he's got a little bit of an issue with his off the field stuff or off the match stuff that got him in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's the issue.
Yeah.
It's not that the WWE didn't kick him out because he couldn't fucking wrestle. They kicked him out because he had some off the field issues.
Yeah.
That's number one. You know, as far as the rest of the career, I mean, how are you going to say he's not better than Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, and it's
How can you say that? You don't know.
Yeah, it's to be determined.
Yeah,
He's
Brock was a
24
big
years old.
fucking dude, but Shane Carwin put him on his ass for a round and should have won the fight.
Yeah.
And he was a bit smaller than Brock. He's probably much more in line with a guy like Gable Stevenson's size.
And Brock Lesnar, he went to the WWE for a little bit. He had a good run, a really good run. He left the WWE for a while, went to the UFC. A lot of people would say, including me, that Brock Lesnar's best stuff in the WWE came later, after he came back to the WWE.
More fans.
And it's just like, dude, you at 24, you have a lot of life left to live.
You've got all your life left to live.
Yeah, like there's plenty he can still do. And
the human body, baby.
And-
as men,
Yeah.
our brains don't stop developing until we're almost 30 years old. Boom.
And this is what I would say to Gable Steveson, if I as a nobody could give him some advice, is prove people like this fucking idiot wrong. Just, dude, work your ass off. You've got the athletic ability, you've got the name, you've got the talent. Please prove these, because I could say maybe he is a little lazy, maybe he's gotten complacent.
Maybe, and that seems to me, if I had to put my nail on the head, it's complacency.
Yeah.
And he phoned the last 37 seconds of that match.
Yeah. And I mean, when you go from being told, if you're told your whole life that you're a star, then you kind of just think, okay,
Sometimes you can believe that.
Well, I'm a star. I don't really have to do anything. And maybe that happened to Gable. I hope this loss actually wakes him up, gets him fired up, whatever it may be, gives him exactly what he needs to prove people like 58 subscriber Eric wrong.
Ewok.
And I hate that he is. Don't go look this guy up. Don't go support this fucking channel.
Or don't support this video.
Yeah.
Maybe give him a chance in the next video. I don't want to say that this guy's a piece of shit or anything like that. I think he feels some type of way about this, but I feel like the direction you're aiming your feelings, my guy, is the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Because he's an immaculate, like a stellar athlete.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest collegiate wrestlers of all time. Yes, his last match was a loss. Okay, that sucks, but that should in no way, tarnish his legacy, if you will.
He's still a Hall of Fame level athlete for the NCAA.
Easily.
Wrestling. I mean,
easily. And let me just say this too. I don't come from the genetic stock with all sorts of, athletic genes, but as someone that works out quite a bit, I know how difficult it is to build muscle and to get in shape, and to be a guy like that, to know the effort that he has to put in to throw shade from your bedroom.
this kid that's throwing shade, I don't want to body shame, but looks all of 150 pounds.
Hit the gym yourself, my boy. But let's just see what else you say.
For the WWE was on NXT. He didn't even make it to Raw. The only time that he made it to Raw was when my boy was in the crowd. My boy was in the crowd. Bobby Lashley,
another
MMA crossover.
And
yeah,
he did-
I forgot about
he
him.
was there for Kurt Angle. You are not Kurt Angle, my boy. Kurt Angle won a gold medal with a broken neck. Okay.
He won a gold medal without a broken neck. What do you want him to break his neck?
Just to be able to beat that. Sorry, guys.
The B League, the wrestling B League.
It's not the
Because
B
he had no
League.
shine. He had zero shine.
What's
His
wrong with the B
only
League?
TV event.
You gotta
was on
He's
like
wrestling for the
great-
WWE. It's
Not
not
every
the B
person
League.
is going to get drafted #1 overall and go into the starting lineup. More people build their shits up the old-fashioned way.
You know what? This guy is the type of guy who sees a top level college baseball player and be like, yeah, but I guarantee he'll be a AA player next year.
She's in single A?
Yeah.
You're in the Carolina League?
Yeah.
But you were drafted 1st overall. Yes. I'm working on my swing, dog.
Bro, I'm trying to get my fielding down.
Trying to get these change-ups to quit changing up so much, making me look stupid.
0 stars, and after that, they just put my boy in house shows. They put my boy in house shows, and this was his only TV event, and the fans shouted, "You suck."
TV'd. Televised. televised is
right?
the word.
So what do you think happens?
So all right, pause it again.
So he's mad that he's not.
Well, so he's saying that he only had one televised event,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's wrong again, and we're just pulling hairs here, but he's wrong again because just in his video, this is one event.
Mm-hmm.
He showed the one with Kurt Angle. That's the second event.
Mm-hmm.
He showed the one on NXT. That's the third event. And he was on WrestleMania. He mentioned that earlier. 4 events that you've mentioned, that you've shown and you've mentioned that were televised events. And you are saying this was the only time he was ever on TV. No, big dog. He was televised multiple times. He had matches, televised matches. And then, yes, he did go do the house shows, but everyone does house shows. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Ric Flair, some of the best, Hulk Hogan, some of the best professional wrestlers of all time, Stone Cold The Rock, they've all done house shows, big dog. Like, The Rock, if you want to talk about someone who was hated, because he was talking about how he was getting booed, blah, blah, blah. By the way, he was a heel. You want to talk about someone who's been getting booed, The Rock. This is all of his televised events right here.
Bro.
This is...
Bro! There's like 25 of them!
And look at, defeated.
He won them all.
Yeah.
He won them all except for all of them. His first one is the one he lost. And he drew. It was a draw.
On a pay-per-view, by the way. Great American Bash is a pay-per-view. That was on my birthday.
Come on, my boy.
Yeah, it is what it is, but
either way, people are asking my boy, hey, why are you not on WWE Raw? Why aren't you on SmackDown? Why are they only putting you like in the crowd? And why are you only on like house shows and non-televised events and things like that?
All right, pause it again.
Says, yo,
sorry. There are a multitude of professional wrestlers, or millionaire wrestlers who have never wrestled for WWE.
Mm-hmm.
The Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. Because Kazuchika Okada are
call
all...
a spade a spade.
Yeah.
America is not the only market in the world.
Yeah.
The Asian wrestling market is
massive,
gigantic.
And a lot of those guys, right, who do eventually sign with the WWE after making a big-time name for another company, for New Japan Pro Wrestling, for All Elite Wrestling, for TNA, Impact Wrestling, for Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan again, CMLL, AAA in Mexico. These guys will sign with the WWE, and they'll be on NXT for 2-3 years. Gable Steveson was never an independent wrestler. He never wrestled for an independent company. He never wrestled for TNA, for Ring of Honor, for any of the indie league wrestling. He went straight to the WWE and, yes, went into NXT, which, again, was originally their developmental program, but now is its own brand.
That's like not wrestling in high school and going to college and wrestling.
You know what that's like? That's like never playing a down of football a day in your life and then signing with the Buffalo Bills. That's what that's like.
Oh, wait. It did happen.
Like, it's just the ignorance is what's killing me here, because it's like this. If you know anything about independent wrestling, I know wrestlers, and I train in indie wrestling, and I know a lot of really good indie wrestlers.
In Indian wrestling?
Indie. Yeah. I did train with an Indian fella. He was a nice guy.
An Indian fella?
Yeah. But it's like there are a lot of great wrestlers who don't go to Monday Night Raw. If you pull up NXT's roster, NXT, let's pull up NXT roster right now. I'm getting so mad I'm stuttering.
The Rooster.
This is why I don't like to argue with people, because I get too mad. This is why I can never be a
master debater.
Yeah, I can never be a master debater. This is the main roster, so it doesn't break it down. All right, SmackDown, blah blah blah. Where is... I'm trying to find the NXT roster. Current NXT roster, you got... I'm just going to name some of the bigger names here.
Probably don't know any of them.
Here we go. Shawn Spears wrestled as Ty Dillinger, big name guy. Wes Lee wrestled in TNA. Wrestled for Ring of Honor, big name guy. Trick Williams was actually a wide receiver in college football. Played for South Carolina Gamecocks.
Dope name.
Never wrestled a day in his life. Signs with WWE. He's on NXT. Crushing it, by the way. Ethan Page. I don't see his name, but he's Ethan Page. There it is. Ethan Page wrestled for TNA. Wrestled for multiple independent companies in America and Canada. Millionaire. Wrestled for AEW. Has never been on Raw or SmackDown, but is a big name in wrestling with... Let's just go to his Instagram. Millions of followers. Ethan Page. Probably the biggest name. 158,000 on Instagram. Twitter's another, I think, 250, 300. YouTube, 300,000. Like he's across all platforms, well over millions of followers.
I'm just not as familiar with my boy on the wrestling aspect of this stuff.
I think what makes me mad is the disrespect to Gable as a person, but to the disrespect to the entire industry of professional wrestling. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's trying to say like, "Oh, he's only in developmental. He's only in developmental." Like,
that's what he is. He's a developmental prospect.
And there are millions of people who would love to be where he was.
And just because developmental prospect is not shade, it just means you're raw.
It means at this time he was 23 years old, entering a new era, a new job, and he needed to work on his craft. Yes, and I feel like anyone, rightfully so, like Eric, if you started a new job tomorrow at the grocery store next to the one you currently work at, you would probably have to go through a developmental program there. You know what I mean? Like, it's not
training.
Yeah, it's a very common thing in the workplace, especially if you're going to be performing a high impact job like professional wrestling, where you could seriously injure someone else if you are not doing it to the best of your ability. Like, you should probably go through a developmental
Snap
system.
someone's neck up.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty close to debuting and being on screen. I'm close. I'm just waiting for the call. And I'm waiting for that time. I'm waiting for the call, boys. Some days it's a little stressful because I never know when it will come. And I'm used to amateur wrestling where it's like, hey, we have the Olympics in 3 months. Or we have Olympic trials in 2 months and be ready for it right now. You're going through the motions with no goal. I wish I could have that goal in sight and put forth to give people the real answers when I'm debuting. He didn't even know when he was debuting.
Yeah, debuting. He didn't even know what he's...
Crowd chanted,
Jesus.
"You suck."
Debuting.
Crowd chanted, "You suck." Okay, so
And let's just unpack that too. Okay, if you're trying to tell me that the crowd's reaction at WWE is indicative of your quality as a wrestler, so anytime anybody gets booed is a bad thing,
guys like The Rock, before he was a Hall of Famer, was getting booed.
Well, that's half the job of a heel is to be booed. If you're not doing your job as a heel, if you're not being booed.
And probably the biggest name in professional wrestling right now, current wrestler Roman Reigns, outside of John Cena, because he's like a part-timer back on his part-time schedule, or even John Cena. John Cena, as a face, was getting booed. Probably the greatest wrestler of all time, most likely going to break the all-time championship record. Ric Flair's at 16. John Cena's tied with him at 16. Probably going to break it on this last run he's on right now.
16? I can't even count that high.
He was getting booed as a face, and now as a heel, he's getting booed. Rock was booed. Roman Reigns was booed. These guys get booed. There's seasons in professional wrestling when the fans think that you're getting shoved down their throat like Cena was at a point, whatever. They're going to boo. Hulk Hogan gets booed. Hulk Hogan gets
he's a
booed.
real American.
Yeah, like, people get booed, brother. That's wrestling, dog. Wrestling fans are fickle.
Yeah, I just don't get using that as a litmus test for someone's ability as a wrestler.
It's bad. It's like saying, like, so I'm a South Carolina Gamecock fan, okay? It's like saying when Dabo Swinney comes into Williams-Brice Stadium, I'm booing my ass off. We all are. We don't like Dabo.
I hate Dabo.
Does that mean that Dabo Swinney is a bad coach? I mean, yeah, but no, he's an all-time, like, he's a Hall of Fame coach, and I hate that I said that.
I hate those words too.
But
I'm so glad they suck again.
Yeah, me too. But it's like, guys, like, you have to understand, like, just because people are getting booed, it doesn't mean, like, especially in, like you said, professional wrestling, where there's faces and heels, good guys and bad guys. There are guys, their entire job is to get booed.
Yeah, you ever go to a movie and you're like, man, I hated that bad guy. He was such a mean dude. Yeah, because he did a good freaking job.
Who else? I mean, UFC fighters get booed all the time that are champions.
Yeah. Even good champions. But that's because they're boring. There's a difference.
Of course, Bobby Lashley's giving my boy fist bumps on Raw and all that shit.
There he is, televised event.
He signed a 3-year deal, and they cut him almost after the full 3 years.
What does that tell you?
Yeah, yeah.
Almost after the.
What does that tell you?
Almost after.
Bro, you had
the
one
3 years.
televised event. You had one
Again.
televised event.
Again,
You had all
wrong.
the hype in the
Looking
world,
at
bro.
about 25 of
Put
them
on WWE,
between February 9th and
you
June
had a promo
30th,
event with
2023, or
You had a
June
promo
30th,
event at
2023 to
WrestleMania.
February 9th,
You had a promo
2024.
event
And he was
on,
signed in 2020
NXT.
or
You were
2021.
on
Something, I think
the house
2021.
shows. He had no hype. Nobody wanted
Also,
to see him.
WWE was going through
Nobody
budget
wants to
cuts
see
at this
my
time
boy.
because this
So,
was after
after all of
COVID.
that,
They cut a bunch
right,
of people.
Yeah.
After all
Again,
that,
him being cut here has
NFL
nothing to
is
do
like,
with his
you know
ability
what?
as a wrestler.
Look up
We've
This dude is
established this.
perfect.
WWE
perfect fit
21
for the
2021.
This dude is a perfect fit for the Bills.
Cuts.
So they signed my boy during the off season. They're like, we're gonna
Or
put you through
I will
camp.
say
We're gonna see what's going on. A lot of wrestlers are great in
firing
the NFL.
because they had
The
a lot of
wrestling
guys that
to
they let
NFL
go.
pipeline is hella strong. It's hella strong.
Okay, so this is in storyline.
It's hella strong.
They
How?
release him before.
How's that? Like,
They
let's
release-
just look at, let's just unpack that too. I don't like when you say something and you don't give me.
Do you want to?
your factual remedy for it?
All right, so can I name some names for you?
We'll name some names from what? What are we doing?
From the WWE.
Okay.
Jeff Hardy.
And what do these people do?
These are all people that were fired on the same day that Gable Steveson was. This was budget cuts.
Oh, okay.
So Jeff Hardy, who's a WWE Hall of
I know
Famer,
who he is. Yeah,
was
yeah.
fired. John Morrison, fired. Isaiah Swerve Scott, who is now a champion for AEW, fired. Grand Metalik, multiple televised events. Scarlett Bordeaux, millions of followers online. That's because she's a blonde, gorgeous blonde-headed girl. Leon Ruff, who goes on to be, this is what crossover guys you got pulled over there. Ric Flair was fired in 2021. Ric Flair. Bray Wyatt, Killian Dane, Kurt Stallion. I don't even know who Kurt Stallion was actually. Marina Shafir, who's on AEW now. Tyler Breeze, who was a big time name. Fandango, big time name. Tony Nese, big time name. Daivari, who's wrestled for years. Braun Strowman, former heavyweight champion. Braun Strowman. Aleister Black, who is in AEW now as a top heel. Buddy Murphy, AEW top heel. Lana, who has actually gone on to another industry we won't talk about. Andrade, top name in AEW. He's back in WWE now. Was also fired. All these guys are Samoa Joe, who is a professional wrestling legend, TNA Hall of Famer, AEW Hall of Famer, former world champion in WWE. Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. Mickey James, WWE Hall of Famer. Chelsea Green, back with the company now. Bo Dallas, back with the company now. All these people were fired in 2021 around the same time that Gable Steveson was let go. All these people are great professional wrestlers who have gone to other companies and done other things. Gable Steveson just decided to go back to doing something else. Just wanted to point
No,
that
yeah,
out.
that makes a lot of sense.
It's called budget cuts, guys.
Yeah.
Companies do those.
Just trying to find something else in here, but I can't find it. It's okay. All right.
Please
We're
before
almost
the
done with this
season
guy.
even started. He got signed to a 3-year rookie deal as a defensive lineman. He had 0 football experience. Just athletics.
It wasn't a 3-year guaranteed. It was a
The fans
practice
didn't even
squad
like him
deal
before-
with a
before
3-year if he
they
got
even
called up.
saw him in camp. He got cut in August.
All right. So
boy-
you just said the fans didn't like him. I just wish you, when you say something, you would show proof of what you're talking about, because I don't
My
believe
boy
that's true.
barely even made it through camp. People said that he was coughing and wheezing going through the cones. That's what people said about
That's
him.
what people
What
said.
people?
That's what people said.
Okay. He didn't even have a highlight. No, not even a TikTok edit. Not even one TikTok edit. Not even
Oh
one.
man, so he must be terrible because there's no TikTok edits. Again, the litmus test here for success is TikTok edits. Shit.
One. Did
I
you
guess
think
I'm just
that he
not
was gonna,
successful. I don't have a
single-leg
TikTok
people
edit.
on the D-line? You know? So then another question arises, right? Okay, you just got cut from the WWE after one televised event. You got cut
25.
from the NFL after like 2 weeks of camp, you know? Are you going to return and defend your Olympic belt after you won a gold medal during like a super weird delayed Olympic trial where like half the athletes couldn't even pop out because they were under lockdown? Are you gonna defend your like your medal? Like, you know what I mean? Is that what you're gonna do? Like, that's hella regular. No, my boy decides to never pop out. No defenses. No 2024 Paris defenses. Nothing.
You can only
None
be
of
an
that.
Olympic athlete
So
if
then
you're
after all this,
considered
my
an
boy
amateur
decides
athlete,
to
by the way.
pop back out of retirement from college wrestling and lose in the NCAA championship. I think it's over for Gable Steveson after that. I really do. Like, that's kind of fucking crazy.
Over how? Over what? What are we over here? Is he not wrestling? You're saying that he's over because he's not wrestling in high school anymore, or wrestling in college anymore, or the Olympics?
You know what I'm saying? In a split-second decision, to getting dropped by the WWE, to getting dropped by the NFL before even playing the game, to them returning back to the only sport that you had, any sort of notoriety in, and then you lose. Please.
Right.
I can't fucking do this with you anymore, man. All right, I was trying to be nice. I was really trying to be nice.
Let's see the comments.
You talk out of your ass, bro. Just because a notion pops in your head like this may be true doesn't mean it's true. You need to go fucking look it up before you start spouting shit out of your ass. It has no fucking point being on the fucking internet, man.
People were saying.
No
just sources.
Just because you and your buddy at work said some shit to each other back and forth doesn't mean it's true.
Let's see some of these comments. I want to see what people were saying and what he was saying back to them. Did they check out my music? Check out my music. Oh, I don't want to support him, but God, I would love to.
Do that. Where are the comments at?
Is these all his?
Hey, I got a comment in here.
So all right, so this is.
I'm tired of you Gable Glazers.
But hold on. But before you read just that comment, I want you to look at the name of who it is.
Iraq Super Goblin.
And what channel?
What
channel are we on?
That's his channel.
Iraq.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the same one that was also responding to every single comment on his channel. All right. I want to see if anybody likes his take too. Okay, here's a good one. As a friend, so obviously this guy knows you. Get out of the wrestling world. You can't even say Gable's last name right. You got to do better, and your take on this was horrible. Keep trying, man, and stick to sports you understand. Your take on the NCAA finals with Wyatt and Gable sounded like you've never watched a folk-style match before.
Damn.
Not good.
Nice.
I want to see what he said to him. Me saying he lost in a minute of the match shows I don't know anything about wrestling. It's just about failure, bro, is, but I guess you failed to comprehend that. Go wash your singlet, Stinky.
I guess whoever wrestles, or wrestles, whatever. I don't know.
What a weird dude. I just couldn't. I would never respond to people.
He literally said, "I don't understand how it comes off as bad." That's how bad he is.
Well, when I responded to him, he just said that I was stupid. I just think you lack comprehension skills and can't have an independent thought. Here's an independent thought. Eat a dick.
Well, isn't all right. So, but he posted his thought, and then you commented shit take and done it in such an unlikable way. So your thought is independent from his thought originally, right?
Yes.
So that's wrong already.
I just left him on freaking no comment returned after that one. He's never coming back, and that's for real. Coming back to what?
Yeah.
He's graduated, you moron!
And that's that for real. And that's that for real.
He's graduated. Why does his ability to want to be an Olympian or not want to be an Olympian? You do understand that the Olympics is a completely different monster than any other sporting event in the world.
Keep going. Let's see what else is going on here.
Wow, you with your 52 subs are going to tell us how an Olympic champ and NCAA champ is a fraud? Hendricks is a monster, and getting beat by him is not an embarrassment. I would love to see your list of accomplishments. Please do not list doing YouTube videos in your bedroom as an achievement.
That's hilarious.
That's pretty cold-blooded.
Grappling ignorance got him. Calling someone a fraud for being the second best wrestler in the country is fucking stupid. Respecting someone for their legit accomplishment is not glazing. And then my favorite three, the T in debut is silent.
I'll just say it the proper way so it doesn't matter. Debut.
And it's the funny thing is he's just typing it. Like
your family and friends have never been proud of you.
I'm an Oklahoma State alumni fan, but this is hilarious. 56 subscribers. I'm not surprised.
Well, he's got 2 more now, man. Get back up.
Yeah, back off of him.
Okay.
I would not be surprised if he didn't comment that too.
He commented on. Look, you can see his image is on every single one of them.
Click replies. I want to see if he said 58, 57. I knew he's the type of person to say that every time he gets a new one.
He sounds like your singlets on a little too, mate. Maybe you should try watching another sport besides college-age men in singlets. All right.
And then he goes, I'm going to recommend you try tennis. It's very easy to follow for someone who with learning comprehension disabilities. So I guarantee you one of his 5 comebacks is something about comprehension every time.
Well, yeah, learning comprehension, reading comprehension.
Because he said the same
that,
thing to
me,
you.
shows that your lexicon is not as large.
Yeah.
I have a terrible lexicon, which is why I keep Power Thesaurus open on deck, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right. What else?
I hate that we're giving this guy
And I think this is the crux of everything here, right here. He made this video for attention because, well, not that. I think he made this video because he knew that this would happen.
Yeah.
And it created engagement for your channel. Fine, I had no problem with that. But just understand, everything you said is stupid.
Yeah, you look a dick. And 58 subscribers. That video got 6,000 views, so it's doing what he wanted it to. But in the grand scheme of things, your 6,000 views puts you nowhere in the world. And this is what we think of you.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
God have mercy on your soul.
That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie of all time. But anyway, hey man, I do want to say this. I don't have a problem with you.
I do.
I don't have a problem with
hate you.
I just think you have a really shit take. And a suggestion I would suggest, don't respond to every comment you get on there, man. People are going to be assholes no matter what. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
Anywho, you alcoholic.
I'm getting another drink.
I'm just kidding.
I gotta calm the nerves to that. I gotta get back in a good mood now.
All right. Enough is enough with you, E-Rock.
Yeah.